Let us summarize what we have learned in the level 1 of coordination chemistry, a simplified approach. First, we have done the T2G EG electron distribution based on whether it is a low spin or a high spin complex. Then we have calculated the CFSE values in the low spin state as well as in the high spin state for the octahedral complexes alone. The same can be extended to the tetrahedral complexes also. Now, the higher and lower CFSE values indicate whether the complex is high spin nature or in the low spin nature, that too especially in D4 to D7 electronic configuration. And also we have understood that when the electrons are present in the EG orbital, then the CFSE value will be lowered. Then the calculated CFSE values were applied to two different concepts. The first one is the cation distribution of the spinels. The calculation of CFSE for +2 and +3 ions in the octahedral site was done, and the ion which is stabilized more in the octahedral site will lead to the formation of either normal spinel or inverse spinel. Then the calculation of CFSE was applied to the substitution reactions in octahedral complexes to understand whether the complex is labile towards the substitution reactions or whether it is inert to the substitution reactions. High spin complexes with lower CFSE values are labile and low spin complexes with high CFSE values are inert. The T2G EG electron distribution was applied to different concepts. First, it was applied to static Jahn-Teller distortion, the Jahn-Teller distortion which takes place in the ground state. When EG orbitals are asymmetrically filled, that means EG1 and EG3, then strong Jahn-Teller distortion occurs. When T2G orbitals are asymmetrically filled, then weak Jahn-Teller distortion occurs, T2G1, T2G2, T2G4 and T2G5. In all these cases, weak Jahn-Teller distortion will occur. When both the orbitals are symmetrically filled, then there won't be any Jahn-Teller distortion. Then the dynamic Jahn-Teller distortion can also be understood because the EG orbitals will be asymmetrically filled in the excited state. Then orbital contribution towards the magnetic moment can be understood when the T2G orbitals are asymmetrically filled. So the overall understanding here is when EG orbitals are asymmetrically filled, then static Jahn-Teller distortion occurs. When T2G orbitals are asymmetrically filled, then there is an orbital contribution towards the magnetic moment. The application of T2G EG electron distribution can be understood for the electron transfer reactions also. In the case of outer sphere mechanism, there is a transfer of electron from pi star orbital of one complex to the pi star orbital of the another complex. The pi star here refers to the T2G orbitals. And the inner sphere mechanism will take place when there is a transfer of electron from sigma star orbital to sigma star orbital or between the EG orbitals of one complex to the other complex. Now here what I have done or discussed in the entire course is the discussion of the coordination chemistry only in its simplest form. This is not the exhaustive one. There are lot more to learn. Even in each concept we have to go deeper and we have to learn. What I have done here is the preliminary approach or the fundamental understanding how a concept can be understood only based on CFSE values and T2G EG electron distribution. Now, what is required to solve the problems? The first and foremost requirement is we should know thoroughly the D block elements and especially the atomic number for the 3D series. And we should be able to quickly retrieve the d electron configuration from the oxidation state of the metal ion. So whenever we come across Cr3 plus, then immediately we should know that it is D3 T2G3. If it is B2 plus, then it is when if it is a V2 plus, then again it is D3 configuration. When if it is Mn2 plus, then it is D5 configuration. So like this, we should be able to retrieve the d electron configuration very easily from the oxidation state of the metal ion. Then how to approach the problem? First, we have to read the problem with open mind. We should not have any other occupied activities in the brain. That is, sometimes if we are reading the problem, then we will be thinking about whether the question paper contains the kinetic problem, whether the question paper contains the organic problem, whether I will pass the examination or not. So we will be preoccupied with the many activities in our brain. So that should not be there when we are reading the problem. So we should read the problem with open mind, with clear mind. Then whether to approach the fill in the blanks type or to go for 50-50 option, you have to decide on the type of the problem. All problems will not work on the same approach. Only when you have the open mind, you will identify the key. The main key will not be emphasized at all in the problem. So you have to identify which is the main key for the keyword for the problem. Then you have to decide on whether the problem can be approached with the 50-50 option, or whether the problem has to go for the fill in the blanks option. So we have already seen that when there is only one compound or there is one parameter, then it is better to solve the problem, then go and find out what is the correct option. The 50-50 option can be worked out when we have more than one parameter or more than one compound in the problem. Then it is very important to select and mark the correct option. There are many instances that we come out and say, I have marked D instead of C. I wanted to mark B only, but I forgot, and then I marked the C. So I was thinking that I was marking B, but when I went back and looked at that time, I realized that I have marked C. These are some of the statements that we make after coming out of the examination hall. So we have to be really very much clear in our mind, and we should not be preoccupied with anything in our mind when we are selecting the correct option and when we are marking the correct option. And very important is you have to read the text from good reference books and practice the problems. What I have understood from different question papers is many of the text and the tables are converted into multiple choice questions. So it is better to read the text from good reference books, and we have to practice the problem, because only when you practice, then only you can go further. So practice is very important. Thank you, and my best wishes to all of you.